Everybody, how's it going? As you know, there was maintenance yesterday, and that means a new version has dropped in the world of Monster Strike. We are now on version 12.2. So, as always, let's take a look at all of the new goodies because I know not all of you can read Japanese, so let's make sure we actually go through all of the new features so that you don't miss out on any of them. So, first things first, let's take a look at the stuff that I can't show you in action, but rather through pictures. First one is that the hardest difficulties of the Sacred Beasts now feature the V meter. Now, if you don't know what that is from the last few updates, that means anytime you get a drop that isn't a boss drop, which is that golden egg, it will count up to 15. Once you hit 15, there's a random chance of that boss dropping from 1 drop to 5 drops. You may have noticed this from the previous Impossible quests. Impossible and Colossal quests, I think is right. So now they're out for the Sacred Beast. Now, again, this only applies for the hardest difficulties for each monster, so make sure you are careful about that. Always good, right? You know, you don't get the drops for a while. At least every 15, you're guaranteed at least 1 drop. If you're lucky, you'll get 5. Alright, number 2, for those of you who are in Japan and can take advantage of the MonSpot app feature, they made a pretty important update, which, I got to play around with it a little bit when I had to go to Japan to attend my grandma's funeral. You couldn't actually move the map around when you were active, and you had to actually tap these spots to see what abilities they had. Now, you can actually slide the screen a little bit, and you can see on the right side that it will not only move around from your current position. You see it's not, your current location isn't in the center anymore, but you also see the abilities of all of the other spots around you. So it actually helps you, like, oh, okay, maybe if I go over here now, I can take the train to that station. You can get that ability that you're actually looking for. Pretty awesome. Quality of life updates are always good. Alright, next up, let's move to, bam, number 3. If you go to your monster box, you may have noticed that some monsters are flashing blue, and that is because, let's take a look at, right, like, Foyen. The 5-star max luck, which is 90 luck, you will now show a blue clover, so this will help with the 5-star limited quests, or if you just wanted to see what those 90 luck monsters are, you can see it much clearly here. As you saw, the text for the 90 luck monsters are also blue, so it's also visually different. I hope that's okay for those of you who are colorblind. I think green and blue is okay, right? I'm not colorblind, so hard for me to say, but hopefully they were thoughtful of those of you out there who are colorblind. That's not the right one. So yeah, if you order by luck, you should be able to see, you still see your max luck group, and then in blue you see your 90 luck max crew. Pretty cool. All right, number 4. Let's go back to normal. So when you are feeding monsters for experience, there is a new category that is separating out the monsters that you may have gotten from special events, campaigns, where now that if they were specifically for feeding, right? So either experience or even more links, so the pluses for the attack, speed, HP, they are now in this separate group, so you can find them much more easier. So if you really want to feed away those turtles, it's a little bit easier before you have to actually look for them in the wave of existing monsters. Alright, number 5. It is now easier to unlock or move ascension materials out of existing teams so that you can actually ascend your monsters. So let's go back to the evolve screen. And if we take a look at Amaimon here, if we slide over to the Ascension screen, now this update has been here before. If you have previously locked Ascension materials, or they are in a team, you see this red exclamation mark saying, hey, you have this, but it's not available right now. So now, oh, I did that wrong. don't long press, you just want to tap it, and it'll say, hey, this Ascension material is locked right now. Would you like to unlock it? So now you can hit the green button, and it'll go to this screen where now you can long press it, and bam, you can unlock it here. And says, hey, now you can ascend it. Same thing happens if they are in a party, for example. So let's see. Let's say I threw Amaimon in my Lorelei party. Sorry, not Amaimon, but whatever that Ascension material was. Let's see if I can actually find it. There we go. What's your name? I don't remember. Okay, so he's in our party right now. So again, if he's in a party, you cannot ascend that monster. So we should see that exclamation mark again. Yep, there you go. And it says this time, hey, this monster is in a deck. Would you like to remove him? By clicking that green button, you are automatically redirected to the deck formation screen. And then now you can replace it with Lucy, for example. And now since that monster is freed up, you go back and bam, you can ascend there. So it's, again, quality of life update. Very important as always. Just making your life a little bit easier, always a good thing. All right, let's go to number 6, which is boom, boom. When you're pulling from a gacha now, if a monster is brand new, whether by single or a 10 shot, of course on a 10 shot you know because the egg animation will happen, but for singles, you wouldn't necessarily know. Maybe you've pulled so much that you don't remember which ones you have or not, but you can see on the top left that there will be a new indicator there, so nothing too fancy, but hey, it's something. And all right, let's go back to the box. Number 7 is that there is a new, well, first let's go here. I think you click that banner on the bottom. There are 2 packs you can buy now. So the again, the beginner pack is renewed. So if you've already purchased this, you can now repurchase it to get that free pull, free 6-star pull, as well as other goodies. And at the bottom is this ability pack gacha. And what this is a special gacha where you'd get to pick one of 4 abilities: damage roll, gravity barrier, minesweeper or flight, and the last one is no warp. And of those ability, you will get 5 monsters, guaranteed 6-star, that has those abilities. So, and it'll be 1 of each element. So for example, if you pick no gravity barrier, then you'll get 1 fire no gravity barrier, 1 water, 1 wood, 1 light, 1 dark. Now, the important thing to remember here is that this gacha does not include transcended forms of the monsters. It will include their Evo or Ascended monster because, you know, that's what this gacha is spitting out. So when you're trying to decide which monster, or sorry, which ability you want to pull for, do keep in mind that you want to look out for the Evo or Ascension version and not the Transcended version, because there are a few monsters that gain abilities in the Transcension only. Just keep in mind they won't pop out in that form. Now, one thing I will suggest about this is that you may want to consider waiting on pulling on this, and this is just my opinion, but since next month is the 5th year anniversary of Monster Strike, there is a good chance they're going to be giving out a significant or decent amount of free pulls for us. And even if it's not free, there's going to be a gacha that's probably really good to pull in. So you may want to wait until after then to see what you get, to see if it fills in the gaps and that you have in your current box. And that may affect what you really want after the dust settles, right? You know, if you happen to pull like all of these limited elemental angels and hey, I don't need fire anymore, or I don't need, you know, minesweeper monsters anymore, maybe you're aiming for something else. Um, so yeah, that's just my opinion. Of course, you know, I understand wanting to pull right away, getting 5 new monsters, 6-star even, right? Like that's pretty darn good. And I've seen a lot of people getting recent series monsters, so getting the newer monsters are always good, especially if you're stuck on the abyss, for example. Like the newer monsters are really helpful for that, I think. I still haven't started that. I don't want to start that. Not interested at all. But you know what? In addition to the ability pack, 5 6-star guaranteed, you get 7 orbs on top of that, 2 divines, a stamina min, and what? You get a Morling Nest ticket. So lots of cool stuff to get there. And I think you're also guaranteed at least a S berry. Yeah, S berry on top of that. So that's pretty darn good. Alright, but again, since I am a free-to-play player, I will not be purchasing either of these. So for those of you out there, it's a good way to invest your money, because that is the equivalent of a 10 pull, and you are guaranteed 5 6-star monsters, which, I mean, let's be honest, you're more than likely not going to get 5 6-star monsters from a 10 pull worth of orbs. So if you are willing to spend that much money, maybe go for that. And do keep in mind, no limited monsters are available in that hatcher. So it is just standard monsters. So you can't be hoping for, you're not going to see Lucy, you're not going to see Daki, you're not going to see Kiskilira. So do keep that in mind. All right, last but not least, let's take a look at probably the best part of this update is the reordering in multiplayer. So if you're playing a quest as host only, you can now hit that button on the right and rearrange the order before you start the quest. Now, as you see, I mean, let's just play that one more time. Boop. Right? As you can see, I'm in the first slot. I decide let's just reverse the order because I don't want to do much in this Divine Gem quest. And so I pulled Yuki up, Cress in the second slot, and Kosakujin. That's probably not right. Anyways, and you're free to change it in whatever order you want. And as host, you know, you have full power of the order, so it's not like anybody else can dictate what order they would like to be in. So it's up to the discretion of the host, but this is going to be key in many quests. For example, let's say you don't necessarily have the right monster to start with, like a Pierce type, for example. You only have a suitable bounce type monster, but you want to spend that stamina to host or get that first clear, host it with a friend, and then have them bring in a Pierce, rearrange the order, bam, they're first, and you get that best shot with a Pierce type, even though you hosted as a bounce type. So this is pretty good. I love that update so much. It's going to be super useful, I feel like, coming into, especially when you're playing harder quests. You know, that first shot order, getting that right character to make that first move can be pretty big. So yeah, that is it for the updates. Again, there are a bunch of new quests in the library. Let's see if I've missed anything else. I'm gonna go through the news real quick. Did the B meter, did the ordering, did the MonSpot, did the luck, did the fusing, did the unlocking, new sign. Yep, so the library. Of course, there are 4 new monsters that can get a Abelberry badge by fusing 2 max lux. There was an issue with some background music when you were in the Sealed Jade's Watchtower. If you try to enter the orb purchase screen and try and go back, the BGM didn't actually change. They fixed that. Oh, no. Yeah, they're gonna fix that in the next update, I think. And there was a bug with the Kenshin collab monsters. It seemed like that they didn't output the full damage that they should have been in certain rare cases. That should be fixed with this current version. All right, that is it for this version update. Hope it helped out. If there's anything that you are confused about or would like to know more about, please ask away in the comments. I am always here to help, and I will do my best to make sure that I can clarify anything you need. And as always, please be sure to follow the Twitter account MonSt. Me and SF are always trying to translate the newest stuff, whether it's maintenance, whether it's bug updates or new hatchers. Follow that and you can get the latest and greatest. I, of course, try to update the Monster Strike news live when it happens, so you can always see that there. And I do have my personal YouTube, Twitter account, ScottKnackYT, if you want to know when I update the newest videos. I know I haven't uploaded much recently, I'm sorry, but I have definitely been feeling a little lazy, plus having to deal with work. Yeah, you can understand, right? Alright, and I guess before we go, if you have noticed, I did scroll my second Lorelei, so they both have 2 berries now. Small update, but that's it. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.